What is up, everyone? Welcome to It's Been a Week. I'm your host, Ben McDonald, and this is your weekly dose of whatever the hell just happened. Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Been a Week. I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. Hope you had all the fun out on the lake. Hope you got drunk, and hope everyone was safe. I had a really good week. A lot of interesting things happened this week. AJ and I have recently joined F45. So if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like Orange Theory, Barry's Boot Camp. It's like a group fitness class where you go and it's like different every day. It's 45 minutes, but it's great. And we've been really good. We've been going every single day, except for on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, I'm a psychopath and I get myself up at 4 a.m. I drive all the way to Dallas. I do back-to-back spin classes, and then I drive home, which is crazy. And like the total, it's like 140-mile round trip, which is psycho, I know. But in LA, I used to go to SoulCycle every single day, sometimes twice a day. So I can't justify driving to Dallas every single day, but every Tuesday, that's my day to do it. And I can't go at the middle of the day because then it's like you hit traffic and it's going to take up my whole day. If I get up at 4 a.m., do my classes, I'm home by 10 a.m., and I still have my whole day. So anyways, today, though, we went to F45. We're on our drive there, and out of nowhere, like cars started braking, and I'm like, what is going on? And there was a dog in the middle of the street, and all these cars just kind of swerved and went around it, almost hitting the dog. So, of course, AJ and I stop in the middle of the road, and we grabbed the dog. We luckily it came to us. We got it in our car, pulled over. We looked at the tag, called the number on the tag. And of course, the lady doesn't answer because whenever I call anyone, I still have a Beverly Hills phone number. So people immediately think it's spam or whatever. So they don't answer. So I immediately call back and the lady picks up and she's like, hello. And I go, hi, I have your dog. And she goes, oh my God, Cameo. And I'm like, yeah, it was running down the road where everyone's driving 70 miles an hour. And it was almost hit. And she goes, oh yeah, he does this all the time. And I'm just like, what is wrong with people? So we end up driving this dog. I'm like, well, send me your address. We'll bring you your dog home. So we end up driving this lady's dog back to her. And she's like, comes out of her house, like hungover as shit. And she's like, oh yeah, he does this all the time. And I'm thinking, well, if he does this all the time, maybe we need to change the program. Maybe we need to fix something here. Maybe don't let the dog out. Maybe put him on a leash. Maybe fix your fencing. I don't know. That's for you to decide. But I told the lady, I go, well, he was almost hit by like 4 different cars. And she goes, oh, yeah, people say that all the time. He does like suicide missions. I'm like, here's the deal, honey. If I see your dog on the road next time, I'm not calling you. Your dog's going to come live at Beige Ranch and have a much better life. So figure out your shit. That's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Like when it's just pure stupidity. Now, I get things happen. There's accidents, there could have been like, oh, it was a freak thing. But she just said like, oh, this happens all the time. And it's like, what? So I really struggle when people have that kind of stupidity level, but hopefully it doesn't happen again. Cause it's sad to see the dog. You see dead dogs on the side of the road all the time. And I've spoke about this before. It's like when people put their dogs in the back of trucks, it makes my blood boil. So we returned the dog safely and we made it to our workout class. We were only actually somehow 5 minutes late. So it was fine. I got to say something about our workout class though. And I love this place. We are thoroughly enjoying it. The instructors are amazing. The music is great. The community there. I mean, it's like people are friendly. It's a good. I'm loving this F45. Okay. Here's my issue. People, and I don't know if this is all F45. So if other people go to an F45, I'd love to hear if this happens everywhere. People bringing their children to the gym. The gym is not a daycare center. The gym is somewhere where people are going to work out. We're there for 45 minutes to sweat our ass off. And it's it's actually unsafe. These people, and I'm not saying oh, there's one kid sitting in the back. There was a class where there was I counted 14 children, 14. And most of them get shoved back by the bathroom. So if you have to go to the bathroom, good luck, because you're not going to get through all these kids. And there's all these kids back there just sitting on their iPads. And it's what is happening? There's a couple moms that bring 3 children plus strollers. Their kids are in strollers. This gym is not that big. There's really not that much room. I'm if you can afford to have 3 or 4 kids, actually, this day and age, you can afford to get a sitter, or you need to figure this out. I heard one mom say, well, if I were to come without my kids, I'd have to come at the 6 a.m. before they're awake and my husband's still home. And I'm like, yeah, then that's what you need to fucking do. Like, wake your ass up and come. Like, it is unacceptable, in my opinion, to be bringing four kids into a gym. And like, they're all just like sitting around, and then like you'll be in the middle, and when you have like 30 people in a class working out, and people are swinging, kettlebells, and people are doing burpees, and all the things jumping jacks, all the things you do in a gym, and these little kids will be like crying for their mom, and they come darting out into the middle of the gym, and then it's like they're waiting for a lawsuit to happen, like someone's going to get hurt. So the other day, we're in the very front and we're doing kettlebell swings, right? Like the giant, like 50-pound kettlebells where you're putting them between your legs and you're swinging them up and doing the thing. This couple comes in late with 3 children. They plant their kids right in front of us. And I mean like 3 feet in front of us. They're all on their iPads. And I'm sitting here swinging a 50-pound kettlebell. Is it kettlebell or kettlebell? I don't know. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Swinging this thing. And I'm like, people like get sweaty. People drop shit. People swing kettlebells all the time. And they come out of your hands. These kids would be killed. They would be killed. I mean, what is a kettlebell? Again, is it kettlebell or kettleball? Whatever it is. What are they? I think they're like, what are they, like cement? I don't know. It's like you're swinging like a brick. And I'm like, if this 50-pound thing goes flying out of my hands into these kids' faces, like they would die. There was no doubt they would die. So we're sitting there and I'm like, this is not safe. This is not okay. So we moved like to a different part of the room, which again, there's not a lot of room because there's 30 people in this tiny gym. So we're moving to a different place to try to do our swings. And then the next person that came in, she went to the teacher and she goes, this can't happen. Everyone was concerned about this except for the parents. The parents are sitting there like, what? Like, are you joking? You've decided, and they were watching this happen. They planted their kids right in front of people doing kettle swings. Like, what goes through your brain? And then what happens is something happens to their kid and they're like, oh my God, it was just a freak thing. And they're going to be all sobbing and crying. And it's like, but don't set yourself up to fail. I hate when stupidity takes over with people and they set themselves up to fail. And then they want everyone to feel sorry for them. There's already enough freak things that happen. There's already enough accidents that happen in the world. Don't make it so easy to happen. Don't. You're asking for this. And the kids, it's not their fault. They're being drug around. And also both parents came. Okay. Why doesn't one parent come, do your workout, the other parent watch the kids, and then reverse? Then the next parent can do the next class. And like, you got to figure that out. The gym, I'm sorry, is not a daycare center. I don't know. I can't even imagine that corporate would be like okay with this or allow this, because it's completely unacceptable. But anyways, not to just like, shit on F45, because we really do like it. Like the workouts are hard. The music is so good. If you ever get the opportunity to go, like they have their own custom remixes of music. So the music's great. My only complaint really is this like kid thing. And I know I already don't like kids, but like inappropriate to be bringing them to a gym. Just my opinion. Also this week, we went to the Katy Perry concert, which I know everyone hates her right now, and she's canceled, and she went to space, and she's like out of touch with reality, whatever. Which also, here's the deal: if you got the opportunity to go to space or to do what she did, most people will probably be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like I don't want to leave Earth, but like most people, like, come on, you would do it if you had the opportunity. Her concert was really good. I mean, people are like, all over TikTok and they're making fun of her and they're all of her dance moves and everything. But I'm like, Katy Perry is kind of like a Britney Spears, right? Like she's entertaining. She puts on a show, and also she has hits. Like you forget how many songs she has that you're like, oh my God, I love this song. Oh, I know this song. So I thought it was great. I mean, took a few mushrooms. Her visuals were great. I was living. We were right in the middle of the stage. Her stage was like an infinity symbol. So we were right in the middle of it. And I thought it was great. Her, like I said, the dancers, the visuals, the fun things she did. She was flying all over the place. Like, I don't know. Everyone's hating on her so much, but I thought it was good. So this week's guest is a person that I just recently met. I walked into a bar and I immediately was like, you have really good like energy, like her whole vibe. I was like, you're cool. And then she started talking and I was like, oh shit, you're like really interesting too. And then turns out she has a really, really kind of unique story. And I was like, do you want to tell your story on It's Been a Week? And she was like, boom, done. So she's our guest this week. I hope you guys enjoy it. And let's get into it. Okay, everyone. So today I have a guest, Miss Gabrielle.
Hi.
And we met. This is actually kind of crazy. So we had a friend in town. We walked into this new bar in town. It's called the Bubble Bar. It's super chic. It is not what you would expect in Granbury. And we were greeted by this bartender, and I immediately was like, holy shit, like this girl's a vibe. Like she's got like good energy. And then we were hanging out, and then it's literally been 1 week since we met, and she's here in the studio today.
How amazing is that?
It's crazy, right? So how's your week been?
Not great.
Oh boy.
It's been a really fucking annoying week, actually.
Oh no.
So yeah, so I own a yoga studio primarily. That's my main gig is doing yoga. And we had like 3 days ago, there was just water pouring out of the ceiling. And my manager calls me and she's like, we might need to cancel classes today. I was like, why? She's like, FaceTime me. And literally buckets of water, like there's 5-gallon buckets just full of water. So we thought it was from like the rain or something because our roof blew off like a year and a half ago from like a storm that came through. And I was like, okay, that's definitely what it's from. But she had like her boyfriend come up and like check the AC, and it was like the AC unit. I don't know what happened, but the water was just pouring through the ceiling. So landlord takes his time to like make sure things are fixed. And AC guy comes yesterday and he's like, well, like your roof will cave in. Like if this doesn't get fixed like in the next like 3 days, like it's caving in. And I was like, probably not. Like this thing is being dramatic. So like it takes this big red X studio floor, like no one can like put their mats here, just for liability.
Because the air conditioner falls through the ceiling.
Yeah. And so this morning I'm like getting ready for this. I'm like making a TikTok. I do hair talks too.
Okay.
Like styling my hair in a new way. And Stacey calls me and I'm like, you're interrupting my TikTok. Like, what do you want? Just like, not to bother you, but like we can't do classes today. And I was like, fuck. So she sent me a picture and like all the insulation, like wet insulation is just like scattered at the entire studio floor, like a hole in the ceiling. So.
Oh, fuck. But do you have to pay to fix this?
No, I will not, because the landlord should have been managing the AC keep better. And so I call him and he doesn't answer. So I leave him a voicemail and then I send him pictures that I took of like our FaceTime call. And he texts me back. He's like, what's this for? Like, answer your fucking voicemail.
What is this for? The building you own is falling apart.
Well, because I think like in the top corner of it, like it's my face reacting to like I think maybe he just looked at that. I also look naked in the pictures because I'm wearing my tube top and you can't really see like
From my
close. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah.
That's so funny. So it's not funny, but last week we came home because where were we? I don't know. We were out somewhere, and we come home and I'm like, there was storms coming, and we have a dog that freaks out with storms.
Same.
And so there's all this pee on the kitchen floor, and I was like, oh my god. I'm like, it definitely isn't the pig. I'm like, he never pees in the house ever. Okay. So it's like poor Louie probably freaked out the storm. So I clean it up. We go outside. We do chores. I come back in. I go, he pissed again in the exact same spot. So I'm cleaning it up again, and all of a sudden I get dripped on from up above. And I look up.
He's upstairs.
No, the dog is in the attic. No, there's water coming from our light socket. Our brand new air conditioner, they installed it incorrectly, and something burst out of it, and we had the exact same thing. Like there was water coming from the ceiling, and we had to. Thank God our friends were here because they knew how to fix it, and it wasn't enough yet to cause like a hole in the ceiling, but we had to like put fans on it, do all this shit. It was a whole ordeal.
Yeah, and so yesterday when I went to the studio, like you could see like the buckling of like the popcorn ceiling, which I already fucking hate the popcorn ceiling. When I went to Boston, I look up and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I bet these clients here think this bitch needs to fix the ceiling. But it's like all gone. So we don't know when that's going to get fixed. Classes are just postponed for now. So it's been a week, been a day, been a morning.
Actually. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully that gets fixed quickly. And then we'll plug and link your yoga studio. So hopefully by the time it's fixed, everyone can come visit your yoga studio.
That sounds great. Yes.
So also you do card reading.
I have them.
You brought your tarot cards.
Them. Yes.
Okay. I want to see
Let's like crack into them.
Yeah. What are we gonna? Do we have to think of what we want to ask? How does this work?
So many different ways to do tarot. Like, absolutely, you can ask questions. I like to just go in with like a more open mind, like whatever the universe wants to
I
like
love that.
be told. Do you want this like for you? Do you want this for like your podcast? You want this for
Ooh, let's do it for the podcast.
podcast like today, or just like in general?
Like, where the podcast is going. Like, 'cause I will say the podcast, it continues to like kind of evolve and transform, and it just kind of is finding its flow.
What's okay? Can you say your podcast name and like when was it created?
It's been a week, and the first episode aired the first week of January.
Okay, that's all we need.
This is actually going to be our, I think, 20 or 21st episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you primarily have like female clients?
Well, I'm gay, so like 98% of my friends are female.
Right. Okay. So first we got 2 cards.
Okay.
Let me see. We good? We have the Queen of Swords reversed. We got the 2 of Swords.
Okay.
Interesting. So I love swords. So obviously communication. You're Gemini.
Yes.
So that makes a lot of sense. This is like Libra, Gemini energy. Very talkative, very fast paced. But the Queen of Swords reverse sometimes talks about wanting to pivot, and maybe you've already done that, or maybe you will pivot to something else. Or if you have like a niche that you're wanting to track down into, that might be coming up for you in the future. Expansion is the word that comes to mind. And like something about traveling with this, or someone traveling here to talk to you, or maybe you're traveling to somebody else to talk about your podcast. Like there's something about air energy, moving, and it's like heightened and it's exciting. But then you have the 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords sometimes feels like it could not saying it's a slow start or that you feel like you wanted something else to come out of this, but maybe there's a hesitation or a delay, and you should continue with this hesitation delay. Don't make a very quick choice based on your emotions. Like give it a week.
Give it a week.
Give it a week. If this is right now, or this comes up in the next few weeks, in the few months, whatever you're going to be indecisive about, it's better to wait than to make a rash decision. And that could be someone coming in, that could be how you pivot, that could be buying new equipment if you need to. But there is a lot of good energy with swords when it comes to podcasts, talking about vocalizing, talking about speaking. And it's okay to piss people off. I think that's like
Which I tend to do.
good. That's a big message of the Queen of Swords. But Queen of Swords is my energy. Like whenever I read for myself, like this is what comes up. So I like that. It's very fitting.
That's so interesting because, yeah, I mean, obviously communication.
Yes.
That's like what this is. It's all about talking. And a few things you said stuck out to me. Pivoting, because I've told the listeners too. Like the podcast continues to kind of change and evolve, and it's in the beginning it was so in the I swear a lot, and like a lot, and but then I had my friend Caroline Ray, when I was telling you about. So she's the stand-up comedian. She told me, she goes, sometimes you're using swearing as a crutch. And I was like, ooh.
Actually, bitch, what?
I know. I was like, fucking what? So she's like, you're so funny. She's like, you're hilarious. She goes, but when you're throwing in like the F-bombs every the word, she goes, sometimes, she goes, in comedy, she goes, you're using that as a crutch to try to make your jokes funnier.
Do I do the same thing then? Oh, gasp.
I know. But she was like, so when she was helping me with some stand-up stuff, and she was like, you don't need this. She goes, your jokes are so funny. She goes, you're hilarious. She goes, when you add the swear words in there, she goes, you're
like dips it down.
Yeah, she goes, you're yeah, exactly. She goes, just say it with a swear word. It's actually funnier. She goes, use swear words when you need them.
Oh.
She goes to add that emphasis, and I was like, fucking yeah, fucking right.
Yeah,
fuck yeah, cunt. So I still swear, but so that's happened, and it kind of evolves. And then as far as like the pivoting, I've noticed that there's like having real conversations. That the listeners are much more, people are loving that, is when there's like real conversations, real talk. When I did the episode with the pastor, when I did the episode with my friend Victoria, who, whose baby passed away, and my other friend Sherry, who's, she adopted a handicapped daughter. And like, there's been all these, people love that. And then also like questioning and rash decision making, which normally I do. I was like, okay, is this podcast going to just continue, or is it going to be seasons? Am I taking the summer off?
Right.
Am I, like, what do I do? And that's kind of what I've been playing around with.
Gasp. Next card. We got the 2 of Wands. So this was like, I think your first 2 messages were more about the beginning to now. This is more about now to future.
Okay.
So no one can predict the future 100%, or I would have like won every casino game that I've ever played.
Right.
I also love to gamble.
Same.
Love to gamble. But the Two of Wands talks about expansion, but grounding. So there are good times for pauses where the Swords wants to continue always, whereas the Wands wants to take little breaks. So maybe seasons is a good idea, or maybe it's taking gaps or having segments. Like, this season we're talking about everything healthy. What the fuck ever. This next season we're talking about relationships, and it could be broken up that way, or something that feels like you're getting every conversation or story or personality that you want on here. But this is a good card for expansion and a good card for growth. So
All right, great.
yes.
Also, one last note on what you said about the traveling. We're working right now to make this having live shows, and we're going to like different we're doing this comedy club in Fort Worth. So it's so funny that the traveling thing. So I was like, we did one episode with Caroline Ray at a live event, and we were trying to do more of that.
Yes.
So I'm partnering with this brand in Dallas. It's like a dating brand. So it's funny that is all.
Travel is good.
Yeah.
Travel is good. I think anything that's going to move you out. I mean, being Gemini, duh, that's like very, very fitting.
Because I'm all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah.
As you should be.
And thing with Geminis, everyone, we get such a bad rap. What are you?
I fucking love Geminis. I'm a Libra.
Yeah. Balance.
God, I love Geminis.
Well, I feel like people either love us or hate us. There's really no in between. And we get such a bad rap. And it's like, I have multiple personalities.
Same.
But not in like that I'm a backstabber. I feel like I have multiple personalities, that I have friends from all different walks of life, from, celebrities to artists to billionaires to horse trainers to like just, stay-at-home moms to entrepreneurs, like people that are fucking annoying, people that are fucking cool. Like I can handle all different types of people. Yeah. That's where I think my Gemini-ism,
right.
I can flow with different people.
And it's a gift because a lot of people can't do that.
Thank you.
So.
Have you always been able to read cards like that? Because like I have tarot cards, but like I'll like pull a card and then I'm like looking at this little manual handbook and I'm like, okay, so this one means this, and I'm trying to learn the setup, and like I look at the card and I'm like, okay, so there's a dog sitting next to a person with a sword going through its eye. What the fuck does this
symbolism
mean?
Is this?
Yeah, like how do you know how to do all this?
Yeah, so part of it, like anyone can read tarot. Like you can learn it and teach it like in a very like black and white way, or you can do it like intuitively. So I've always been, I think, gifted in a sense of being intuitive. I mean, being female, being Pisces rising, having, trauma from a young age. But I had brain surgery when I was 14. And it was like a freak accident, like so stupid. I wish it was a great story, and it's really not. Like I was running with my friends and I had a really big crush on this guy, Libra, and he fell. And I was like, oh, I'm going to like tag and like get him. Like that was my thought process, not thinking, oh, he fell over something. So I'm like running all my might, and I tripped over cable wires. This was in Stephenville. It's like not too far from here.
Okay.
It was like in the park. And so there was these cable wires that like kind of blocked off the parking lot. There was a parking lot and like those concrete like car stoppers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what those are called. I don't know, like a big center block kind of thing.
Car stoppers. Yeah.
Car stopper. And so like it did a full like 180, like hit the cable wires on my thighs and then hit my head directly on that car stopper. And it's a miracle I didn't pass out right then. But I remember like from that moment till my surgery, like not being like in my body, like watching everything from like a bird eye view and being very calm, like in that space. Like obviously I was dying. So like dying is not scary. Like if you do die, like it's actually quite peaceful. But my physical body, I remember crying and screaming and like looking down at myself being like, you're fine. Like, what are you doing? Like everything's going to work out. So it's an interest. Maybe if someone's experienced this, like they can maybe understand that. So it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know if you've had any near-death experiences.
No, but with 11, who you met,
yes,
we did a whole episode on, she's a death doula.
Yes.
And on dying, because I'm so scared to die.
Yeah. Like
I have a major fear of, like, I don't want to die. I love life.
Yeah. Well, the fear of death is not death itself, because it's just transmutation. You go somewhere else and it's, whatever happens, you conduit of all things. But I was also that also gave me a really big fear of death afterwards, because I experienced it. And so anyways, backtrack. This is my Libra self. I'm getting all over the place. So my friends take me back to my house, which I lived like 30 minutes out in the country. So
wait, you hit your head. Yes. You did not pass out.
Did not pass out.
But you were crying.
I was crying and couldn't walk, I was like very confused. Like I was trying to communicate, like where are my keys? And I was 14. They didn't drive. Like, where am I at? Like, who are you? And
Did you hit like the front of your head, the back of your head?
so I actually hit my right side, my right temple, kind of
Like here.
prefrontal area. And the force was so bad that my brain hit the left side of my skull. So the blood clot was on the left side. So I fractured the right side and also fractured the left side. So I had a softball sized blood clot, like just forming in my brain, in my temple, in my frontal lobe. So here,
Well, wait,
there,
you got home.
got home. And my dad was like, she's fine. Like, she'll sleep it off. Everything's good. And I'm like bleeding out of my eye and my nose. My mom's like, fuck no. Like, something is wrong. Like, we're taking you to the hospital. And
Holy shit.
don't really remember like a lot of that. I just remember like being like at peace, like looking at like looking down. It's all it is a bird eye view. So I remember everything in a bird eye view, but not in my body. So like I don't remember the pain. I don't remember how bad it hurt during that time. They take me to the hospital. They do like a CAT scan. They care flight me. Like I'm throwing up in the helicopter. And I remember again Libra being like, oh my God, this like nurse up here is so cute. Like I don't want to throw up on him. And what do? Nah.
Throw up on him.
Throw up on him. I do remember that happening. So get to Cook's, emergency brain surgery, and I had the only doctor who refused to shave heads. So I got to keep my fucking hair. And that was such a game changer. I kept my hair long until recently. Like now I have very short hair. But I kept my hair long because I was like, oh, this is like my, I don't know, like battle.
Did they have to cut like a patch?
So I have a scar from like top of my crown, like down below my ear. So it's a good 6 inches. So they just parted my hair and like put like this, I don't know, like Vaseline maybe on it, and then just cut down the hairline.
So then your hair could hide while it
Yes.
grew back.
Yes. So I had the surgery. They took out like my skull about this big, and the bone was so damaged that it died. Like when they cut it out to take out the blood clot, they cauterized the blood bleed. They couldn't get all of it out because it was so close to my eye, my temporal lobe. They were worrying about paralyzing me. So with risk of paralyzation, they told my parents, like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like she might wake up and like not talk again. Like we don't know. Like every brain injury is very different. She may wake up and be fine. She may have issues 20 years from now. Like just like this big unknown. So I'm in ICU for like a week. It was a week.
Now that's been a week.
It was a fucking week. I had a neck brace on because I tore ligaments in my neck too, but they were so worried about the head injury. That was really the only thing that took like priority.
Right.
So survived, woke up, and I remember like the waking up from anesthesia, waking up in the ICU, being in that like white cloud space and being like forcefully sucked back into my body was such a horrific feeling. I remember being like, I wish I would have died. Like now I'm stuck in this like crippled body. I can't play sports now. And I mean, I'm like 6 feet tall. Like I did basketball. Can you see my wingspan here? I don't know.
No, you're big. You're like me.
Yeah,
We're big people.
big people. And sports was going to be my way out of my house. I had a very abusive household, and I trusted that like, oh, my gift is going to take me far. Like being asked,
Scholarships or like,
yes,
get out of here.
it
Yeah.
was going to give me the fuck out. So I woke up and they were like, you probably can't play contact sports anymore, but you should try yoga. And I remember like laughing at the doctor's face, being like, I'm not a pussy. Like yoga, like I didn't know anything about it at the time. I remember thinking, yeah, this is just for, old ladies or people who are really limber and you don't do a whole lot. And so was bedridden for 6 months, was in a neck brace. Like my sister had to shower me. I had dissolvable suture, so I never had to go back to get my stitches taken out, but they like kind of came out like over time slowly. And so it was like as soon as I was able to like go out in public and do things, my mom died. So it was like
The fuck?
fucking horrible. And then again, I was like, God, I wish I would have died instead of her. And so my mom was really sick my whole life. And there's so much to this. Like being sick from the time I was born, I kind of took it upon myself and maybe my parents and my sister, like we all kind of collectively were just these caretakers of my mom. It wasn't ever like told that that was my job, but I kind of took that on as I'm responsible for keeping my mom alive. And I found her. I came home from school one day and like first week or so back at school, feeling 100% good and like being able to just be in classroom. And I come home and I find her dead. Yeah.
What did she have, or what?
She had trauma, and it was the trauma that grew into all sorts of disease and sickness. So she had a paralyzed stomach, kind of like gastroparesis, but not even understood to like she couldn't digest food. She had no colon. She never slept. She was bipolar. She had multiple personalities. She had high blood pressure, heart disease. She was 47 when she died. Like she was
Oh my
very young,
God.
but she started getting sick when I was born. And I think like she lost 3 kids before me. Like I was like this miracle child, like was born in half a uterus and like 1 fallopian tube. Like just and granted I was 12 pounds when I came out. Like that probably fucking did some damage too. Sorry, mom. But she got really sick really fast. And I think a lot of it comes from she had a really like I think my childhood was bad. Like fuck. Hers was horrible. Like stories that she would tell me about abuse from her mom. It breaks my heart to think that she lived through that and survived it and then went to raise her own kids and she was so certain that she wasn't going to hurt her kids in the way that she was hurt and she didn't, but she did in other ways. So it's, everything is a learning process and she did the best she could. And I understand that now, but I was very angry at her for such a long time. Like, first of all, why the fuck did you have me? Like, I think I've spent a lot of my life being depressed and questioning life's existence. I think most people do, but wondering why was I born? Like, what purpose do I have? I'm a fuck up because I couldn't keep my mom alive. Now I have this like lifelong disability with a brain injury. Like, what's my purpose in the world? And so after she died, I went through this very long, maybe 4 years of just like being angry and like hating her and hating everything about her and not really understanding who she was as a person. And it took a lot of healing. Now I feel like I'm like, oh, my mom, she's like hanging out in the ether and we're like besties. But for a very long time, I just didn't understand like why she would have a kid if she couldn't heal herself or
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she did the best she could. And I know that now, but at the time I didn't. But what killed her was there was her third heart attack that she had, 47 years old.
Gosh.
Yeah. And she smoked like 3 packs of cigarettes a day and like all she did was drink coffee. But she was depressed too. And she tried killing herself several times as a child. I remember I would stay home because she would say things like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to be home. I don't know if I'm going to be here when you get home from school today. Like, I love you. I'm like, what does that mean? And she'd be like, well, I just don't think I'm going to be here. Like, I probably like, she would explain in depth what she would do. And so I would stay home and like just like hang out and make sure that she was fine. And
And how old were you at that point?
I got not kicked out, but like had to transfer schools like 4 times because I missed so many days of school. So anywhere from like 2nd grade to 7th grade. So like 8 to 13.
And that's such a like a mind fuck
Yeah.
and manipulation. And again, I think that clearly she was sick
Yeah.
physically,
Mm-hmm.
but there must have been some also sickness mentally.
The mental health, I think, is what exacerbated every physical issue that she had. And it all manifested from her not being able to overcome trauma. And her trauma, I mean, sexual, familial, every kind of trauma that someone could experience. And she would tell us about it like in depth. Like from a small child, like I was exposed to so much at such a young age, and definitely pivoted like my, I guess, maturity.
Mm-hmm. Made you grow up pretty quick.
Grow up very fast. That's so funny. I was journaling about that this morning and last night. I've kind of had not an epiphany, but feeling like I've been an adult my whole life and I've never been able to just like have fun and like be a kid or be a teenager or be a young adult. I'm 26 now. And I feel like this is the first time I'm like actually able to make choices that are just for me and not for somebody else or based on someone's experience or need of me at least. But yeah, being a caretaker at a young age is very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, like it, how do I say this? Like you chose to rise above,
Right.
because a lot of people, they would have those kind of, situations and circumstances, and then they would just become that, or they would adopt that. And then it would be this continual spiral of that.
And I remember for a long time thinking that if someone's sick, then like God, so grew very religious too, like Southern Baptist, and like God is always punishing. And I thought that maybe my mom, she was sick because she was like a bad person. And so then I got it in my head that my brain injury happened to me because I'm a bad person. And I've kind of carried that. Like, I'm obviously not a fucking bad person.
No.
Bad people don't worry if they're bad people, but I carry that with me. I'm trying, working on letting that go. But like everyone sees me as like this successful, passionate, light person. And in my head, I'm the only person that doesn't see that. I think I try to prove that I'm like, I'm 26. I have had a business for 3 years and I do all these great things and sold out retreats and nah. And it's like, who am I trying to prove that to? Like my mom, like she's not here anymore. Like my dad, like we're estranged. It's like, it's just me and my sister. So, but me and my sister, we both definitely rose up. And the choice of rising above, was it a choice or did it just happen? I don't know.
I think subconsciously it's a choice.
Okay.
Because I think, like, I've had some stuff happen with my stepdad, like, crazy stuff. And, but you have the choice, I think, to become your circumstances,
right,
or to kind of do the bird's eye view thing and look at it and be like, okay, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my therapist told me one time, she goes, she's like, she goes, you should have been so much more fucked up.
My therapist said the same thing to me too.
Yeah. Like, they're like, you did this and this and this. So I do think it's a choice, because I think a lot of people choose to be the victim.
Yeah.
And a lot of people then get attention being the victim. Right. And it's much easier sometimes for people to be like, poor me, poor me.
Right. I think I did that for a while too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Certainly. Maybe like 18, 19. Was like definitely abusing alcohol, definitely like
coping
in a sense, like, and I was alone, homeless, like didn't know what the fuck to do. And I just really needed a hug, I think. And that probably could have helped me a lot. Was just like a good friend or someone that I trusted. But I also didn't trust anybody.
Well, yeah, how could you?
Right.
I mean, and you said you're estranged from your dad too?
Yeah. So brain surgery happened at 14. That was like 3 months for my 15th birthday. And then 3 months after that, my birthday, my mom died. 6 months after that, my dad got remarried. Mind you, my stepmom came to my mom's funeral. My parents were still together. But like, yeah, that's the story.
Oh boy.
He got remarried. Then 6 months, everything is in this weird 6 month pattern. 6 months after that, he kicked me out. Because it was either me or the wife stays. And he was like, I guess in his head, we've been in therapy, we talked about it extensively. In his head, I was mature enough to live on my own.
And how old were you?
16.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. He was like, well, you've been so mature your whole life. Like I thought I was doing you a disservice to stay here. Like, that's how you want to, okay, make yourself feel better.
That also is manipulation.
Right.
And selfish.
Yeah.
But that is where I do really believe in karma.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where I don't need religion or a book. And I've spoke about this. I don't need a book to tell me what's right or wrong.
Right.
You, as a human, everyone I'm sure has a different, there's a spectrum of it. Right. You know when you do something right or wrong. And
I don't need a Bible to tell me
that,
or like, to fear me and to
no. And I spoke about this on the religious episode, and I said, like, there's been times I remember when I'd go to the grocery store and you get a case of water and it's on the bottom of the cart and they forget to scan it, and you walk out of the store and you just stole the case of water. Yeah. And I remember there were times where I'm like, I knew they forgot to scan it, and you kind of play dumb.
Right.
I knew deep down that was wrong. I fucking just stole. Well, okay, yeah, it's $3 for the water, but it doesn't matter. Like, I just stole that. Whereas I'm like, when you do something right or wrong.
Right.
Deep down, your dad, he's trying to say these things, I'm sure, to try to justify his actions or to try to make himself feel better. But at the end of the day, deep down,
absolutely,
he knows that that's fucked up.
And now he's so extremely religious. Now he's Catholic. So went from Baptist to being Catholic. And like, no conversation could be without religion or God and all the things. And I had to break it to him, like, we can have a relationship if you want to, but we cannot speak about how wrong I am for reading tarot and doing yoga and and having tattoos. Like, what does the Lord say about you abandoning your child?
What is this, The Handmaid's Tale? I mean, well,
we're in 2025,
which is kind of becoming like The Handmaid's Tale.
Actually,
scary. Yeah.
Granbury, Texas. Excuse me.
Gilead. Yeah, no, it's, I also, and I can go round and round about this, but I'm like, my God, the God I believe in, he wants me to fucking have fun. He wants me to live my life to the fullest.
Why are we martyrs?
Yes. He wants me to be a good person. Actually, I'm not even going to say, she wants me to be a good person.
Yes, ma'am, she does.
She wants me to have fun in life, make people laugh, make people happy. I know when I'm a good person, I don't need to go to church and sit and confess my sins and pray and follow some magical book that was written thousands of years ago, that was translated into multiple different languages, that we're going to pinpoint, okay, we're going to follow these rules, not this one's not that. Like, fuck that. Like, listen, I know I'm a good fucking person. Do I fall short? Absolutely.
Right.
Everyone does. But I don't know. So I think, do you talk to your father now?
Yes. Our relationship now is better than it's ever been, which is good. But it's very surface level. Like,
right. You can't have a deep.
See him twice a year, and it's hard for me to see him. Like, it hurts because all I think about is what could have been. And I get really sad knowing that I don't know if he's happy, like he says he is, but I'm not sure. And it's hard to see my stepmom. It's hard to talk to her.
Do you guys have a relationship?
No. I mean, no.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, how could you?
Right. I can't even talk about my mom. Like, that's a hard thing too. Like, I understand she was also abusive to my father. She was abusive to us, but you can't hate someone after they've died. You have to heal from it. And you have to, I don't know, for me at least, I have to turn my perspective and not view it as hatred and try to understand the person and view them in a different light, or I'm just going to suck myself with like hatred and disgust. And I think I did that for a long time. But he is still like, we can't speak about her.
Oh, see, that's hard for me too. Cause like my stepdad, he's dead. I would say I still hate him.
That's fine. If you don't feel, I had such guilt about it though. Like I didn't feel like it was doing me any service to hate her because she really did the best she could, you know?
I don't sit and think about it like very often. Like if it gets brought up, but I'm not like, oh, he was doing the best he could. No, he was a fucking asshole. My stepdad was an asshole to me.
Well, then good fuck him. Bye.
Like he was horrible, like treated me horrible. So I'm like,
sorry.
But there are people, I get what you're saying. Like when someone's passed, you need like,
at least for me, that helped me in my healing journey.
Yeah.
Because I do believe.
Maybe I do need to forgive him. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think forgiveness. I am a big component that you don't have to forgive anybody. Like for me, like I can close a book, I can burn a bridge so very fast. But for my mom, it was a different kind of healing that had to happen, I think.
And I know you said she was abusive, but also,
would beat the shit out of me and like a bipolar rage and would forget about it. Like I would miss school from like having welts on my ass from being beat so hard.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you've forgiven her.
Yeah, because I really don't think that was her, because she would come out of it. I don't know if you ever met someone bipolar or multiple personalities.
It was like they were in a trance. Like it's a different
person.
Right.
Like eyes would turn black, voice would change, mannerisms would change. She had several different personalities. She had one that was like a child, and she would run away. One time she was gone for like 3 days, like ran out into the woods, like didn't know where the fuck she was. We lived on a farm. Like she was just gone, came back and tattered clothing, still didn't know who I was, didn't know who my dad was, my sisters. Like she was asking for her grandma who had died, and she was stuck like that for days. And she got on some medication that helped. So she had this like baby version of herself. She had like her current self, which was sick and somewhat loving and very supportive of whatever we wanted to do. And then she had this like alter ego of like, I don't even know, just like hate and disgust and just very I think she became her mom because that's what her mom did to her. Like she was like sexually abused by her mom, really, really horrible. I think she became that in blind rage. But she would come out of it like mid attack and be like, what am I doing? Like what just happened? And like wouldn't remember anything. She would go and spend money and forget that she did it, like racked up thousands and thousands of credit card debt in my dad's name. Like, so maybe that is her, maybe it's not. Right. I don't know. But she was just very mentally fucked up.
So she, like we said before, she was sick.
She was sick.
Mentally, but also physically. And wow.
And I just refuse to be that way now. And I know that I have a choice to work on myself, to be better, to do the yoga. That's why I'm so passionate about yoga. It's like, I recognized that I had all these traits of my mom. And like, I was on a very steady slope of like going one way or the other. And with a brain injury too, navigating life is weird. But I definitely made a choice, at least in that sense, to be like, I'm not going to succumb to that. And I do worry about like physically being sick, because I know that some of that's genetic, but I think mentally is more potent than the physicality of it.
It's so funny when I was going through a lot of the stuff with my stepdad, I found yoga too. I used to do yoga in college.
It always finds you, right?
And then I became a teacher.
Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah, at Core Power.
Oh my God.
And not for very long, because I was like doing it. And then when I moved to LA, I discovered Soul Cycle.
You're like, fuck yeah.
Game over. I was like, I'm done being quiet in a meditative room. Like I want to dance on the bike.
Yes.
But yeah, that's so funny that we both that yoga.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a long time. I really should go back, but
Come see me.
I will. Well, when your roof's fixed, I'll come
I
back.
know. I've taught like 12,000 hours. Like I've been teaching
Holy shit.
nonstop since I began, like crazy, like a crazy person.
Wow.
When I'm all in, I'm all in.
Same. I'm in or I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm 150 or I'm 0.
Yep.
So, now that you've like started your own business, you've done all these things, like if your mom was here,
Mhm.
like what do you think you'd want to tell her now?
That's a really good question.
Like if she was sitting here on this couch and you hadn't seen her, like to catch
I
her up
would
on
say you won't fucking believe what dad did. I would say you you would hate who he's married to. If she was like in good spirits and like maybe like aware and not like really fucked up mentally, um, I would tell her that I did all the things that she didn't get to do. Like I got married to like so I just recently got married.
Congratulations.
And like I just found letters that she had wrote to like me as a future wife, like what to look for in a man. And like Jeremy ticks off like all the boxes. Like I found someone who's kind, who treats me well, who would never lay a hand on me, treats me like a princess, like never says anything mean to me or harsh, like just like worships the ground I walk on. I was like, I found someone.
Which, by the way, is what you deserve
Thank you.
and what everyone deserves. Like that is,
Yeah.
like that's amazing. But that is like
Yeah.
that should be the baseline.
Exactly. Right. And exactly. And
You
I've
know what I
been in
mean?
so many shitty relationships that mirrored mine and my mom's relationship. And so so I was engaged when I met my husband now. I was engaged to somebody else and I was like begging the universe to get me the fuck out. I was like, I hate this person.
Yeah.
And then I met my husband and now that's all worked out. But I would tell my mom, yeah, I found a fucking great person. I am traveling the world. I'm doing all these things. I'm like living my life and I'm not having kids. Sorry, mom. But like we're not having fucking kids.
That was actually gonna be that's so funny. That was my next question.
No kids.
Are you gonna have kids?
Fuck no. Absolutely not. Are you?
Fuck no. Absolutely not. I hate kids.
I hate kids so much.
I think kids are
Fucking
so
hate them.
fucking annoying. Actually, yeah. I mean, that could be a whole. I could do a whole episode on
Let's
fucking
do that
kids.
because I fucking hate children.
I mean, also, there's plenty of people on this earth. We have enough people.
Let's adopt them out.
Adopt them out. Take care of the ones we have. We don't need more people.
Did you see how like fucked up the world census was? That now instead of 8 billion, there's 12 billion people. We unaccounted 4 billion people.
It's too many.
No, I
Too many.
want dogs and cats,
Same. Well,
goats, and
I have 70 animals here. I also think that like, I don't know, people that are from a young age, they have that like desire in them to like be a mom and have kids. Like
never me.
me neither, but like do it. But there's so many people that I think have kids because they think society tells them they need to, or
they're forced,
or it's like this is what you do in life, and it's like if you don't want to be a mom or a dad, you don't fucking have to be.
No, you don't. And it doesn't. And I think it's all back to biblical shit, like having to like spread your seed and like grow the word of God. Like my husband got a vasectomy, and I was like, before we got married, this was like my wedding gift to me. I was like, thanks.
Yeah, I'm like, you're looking at Ben. I am the grand finale. Here you go.
I'm the last of my name. So is he. We're ending that shit.
Yeah, done. It's fine. Close that when you guys are done. Close that chapter.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to have kids, go have your kids. But like, I don't. There's so many people that I'm like, they don't want kids. Why you don't need to have kids?
Or when they say, "Oh, you'll change your mind, or you'll regret that when you turn 40."
No, I won't. When you have children, here's what you do: you sign your life up for a world of worry for the rest of your life. I'm 33 years old. My mom still worries about like, did you make it home? Did you do that? Like, she still stresses out about me. I'm like, it's like not when your kids turn 18. It's not like, oh, I'm done.
Well, for me, it was
you're 16. You're good to go. But I mean, and they're expensive.
Fucking expensive. And like my brain surgery, I can't imagine how much that cost.
Oh, if you don't have proper insurance, that could kill you.
Right. And like, what if a disabled child? Like, I don't have it in me to take. I could just
also the way the world's going.
Nope.
School shootings, all the stuff. Do you really want? I do not want. AJ and I talked about this on our very first date. It was like literally like,
do you want kids or not?
Yeah, because I said, here's the deal. I know this is really early to be talking about this, but like it's a deal breaker for me. I do not want children. And he was like, same.
Yeah, same.
We have 70 animals. Someone can call us tomorrow and say, hey, do you guys want to go to San Tropez? And I'm like, boom, let's go. We can put all our animals in cages and pens without having CPS called on us. Great.
And I know like how bad like my mom didn't want to fuck us up and did. Like I could have the same idea approach and still could possibly fuck them up.
And I think that's another thing is like parents, most parents
Mhm.
do try their best.
Right.
And everyone can, I've always thought you can only do with the tools you have in your toolbox.
Mom had like a screwdriver.
Right. You
Trying to
can't
build a house.
trying to build a house, right? Which is why I think, and this is to everyone out there, I think it should be a law that everyone has to go to therapy. Because I think the more you,
Graduated 7 years.
right? I've seen many therapists. I love therapy. I think it's the best thing. I think everyone should go.
Mhm.
And it just builds tools in your toolbox because there's so many like things now when shit happens. My heart rate doesn't even rise. I'm just like, okay, well, like I have no problem telling people no.
We gotta learn how to emotionally regulate and co-regulate
Yes.
ourselves. Because if you start spewing that shit and it's not healed, like you're gonna fuck someone else up, your relationships and your kids.
When you don't have the correct tools in your toolbox,
Can't build a house.
you can't build that fucking house. And you can't, like now whether it's, drama or disagreements with, AJ or relationships or friendships or traumatic things in life or like life fucking happens. Like I feel in most cases, I have the tools in my toolbox to like remain calm, assess the situation.
Being calm is a superpower that not many people have.
And also like a big power is telling people no.
Yeah.
I have no problem telling people no. And I have zero guilt,
I
zero.
love saying no. It's my favorite word.
I'm like,
Fuck
no.
actually.
Yeah, fuck no. People will ask me things all the time, and I'm like, no. I have people call and ask me for money.
No.
I have people call and ask, can I do this? Can I do that? Would this? Would you? And I'm like, no. And that's okay. It's okay to say no to people.
It should be said no more because then people pleasing.
Yeah, I don't have the people pleasing
No.
thing. No. Okay, so as far as the brain injury,
Yes.
how is where are you at now with that? Like, is there things that are day to day that still affect you? Are there things
Yeah, good question. So I had 3 plates and 6 screws in my head.
Holy shit.
If you want to fill it, you can.
You're like a TSA nightmare.
I always get patted down.
Well, no wonder they probably think you're like a walking bomb.
Who the fuck is this?
I know.
Yeah. So
Bionic woman.
screws. I have a crazy indention in my head. The scar tissue that's developed around it, like it's definitely problematic and causes a lot of pain.
Like headaches?
Headaches. So before I did yoga, like fucked up, like headaches, couldn't get out of bed, ocular migraines every single day, like couldn't see out of my left eye, was deaf in my left ear for 6 months, like fucked up all my shit, like memory bad. Started doing yoga and had such a hard time, like couldn't bend down without passing out, like had a really hard time with my hand-eye coordination connection, just being literally losing all my muscle mass, being bedridden, losing all flexibility, just being stick and bones and like not being able to do anything. I felt so embarrassed for one. It was definitely an ego check. But I started doing more and more and things started getting better. Like I noticed my headaches were going away. I noticed that my hearing was coming back. Don't know if that's correlated. I don't know if I can say that legally that yoga fixed my hearing, but I think it did. And my eyesight got better. So I started going severely down. Like I've had glasses since I was like in 4th grade, but my eyesight kept getting worse. And then one day it just like plateaued, and then it started getting better. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would say over the last 5 years, I've made the most improvements. Like so it's been it was 24, so like 12 years since my brain injury. The first like 7 years were really stagnant and really bad, and I think more it was the mental idea that I had to be okay with it. Like I'm not going to behave like every normal person my age. Like I'm not normal. Like I'm going to have limitations. Sleep is probably my biggest thing long term. Like I require a lot of sleep. It used to be like,
but you can sleep.
Oh my God.
Thank God.
Right now I could.
I know. I love a good nap.
I can sleep like a motherfucker. It's so easy. But I was sleeping 14 to 16 hours a night for the first like 7 years, like had no quality of life. Now I can get away with like 8 to 10. 12 is still my happy place, but I can do with 8. Memory here and there. My speech, I think, has gotten much better. I had a little bit of a stutter when I first got out of it, and I would slur my words a little bit. If I get really tired, I still have that, but I think my speech has gotten so much better just with practice as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's almost like you had to relearn.
Yes, and like I don't know, maybe you can see like in my face, like the way my mouth moves is a little strange. Like I have some like my lips don't move in the same way, and it's a little bit not paralysis, but it just my brain has not fully retrained the way I'm to speak. I think that's kind of.
I would never have noticed that. I'm sure you do, of course, but like I would never like.
Yeah.
Yeah, never.
But before brain surgery, everything was very symmetrical and moved the same way. Like my tongue moved differently. So it's like just having to retrain how to learn and do different things. But I kept a lot of my ailments secret for so long. Because my mom was still alive and I was worrying about her quality of life over mine. And then when my mom died, it was like, well, now I can't be the sick one in the family. Like I don't want to be shunned because her being sick was very embarrassing. Shouldn't have been, but it was like my dad was like, "Don't tell anyone. Like it's fine. Like we're not going to talk about it." So then I was like, "Well, I can't talk about my problems." So I would lie to the doctor. I would lie to my friends and just be like, "Oh, I'm just not feeling good." It wasn't until like 2019 to where I was like, "No, like I really experienced some fucked up shit," and I kept it secret because I was embarrassed to think or to let someone know that I had disability or that I had issues or that I wasn't perfect.
Well, that's the whole also, there's like TED Talks and also about shame.
Shame, being so shamed that something was like wrong with me.
Right.
And now I'm like, look at me, look at my party trick. I have a hole in my head. You want to feel it? Like that's my first question, people.
But do you have to be careful? Like, is the tissue softer, or like, is the brain not, or is the skull not as like
So,
strong?
well, great question. I don't really know.
Like, or you have to like,
I'm not really supposed to be doing like I don't need headstands. I can't obviously do a headstand. And like going upside down, like I can do a forearm stand, but like sparingly. It's like being inverted is not great for me long term. But the scar tissue and the plates and the screws like are holding everything in place, but I can't ever get them removed. So like they will always have to be in there. And they've caused me a lot of pain. Like I almost went and got one of my plates removed about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, because it was just so debilitating. Like it feels like an ice pick was just in my head all day long.
and is it metal? It's metal, right?
Yeah. So it's basically like eye brackets. So like imagine my fingers like it, and there's two screws on each side. So there's kind of like holding it in place.
Your brain.
Yeah, my skull.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's just like in there. Some days are bad brain days. People with TBIs will understand that. Like some days are very different. Getting cranky, getting moody, all of that. Like, yeah, I'm a woman. Maybe that's about it. But I think more so it has to do with like my brain is just, I'm just not a normal average person's brain. Like it was, yeah, I downplayed it for so long. I'm over that. Like, yeah, I had a softball sized fucking blood clot in my head. I gotta find you the picture and show you.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. I had a like a drain tube out of my head for a week to get the rest of the blood clot that we couldn't get. So yeah, contusions, have no C curve in my neck still. So like they're from the head to shoulders, like still problematic. But yoga has made life enjoyable and doable now.
So how many days a week do you practice?
I would say like 4 or 5.
That's great.
Yeah. I was every day balls to the wall, and then I was like, that's not sustainable.
All right, let's tone it down.
Let's tone it down. It's very hard because I'm again all in or nothing.
Yeah, same. I know.
I don't like being in the middle.
No. So once your studio the ceiling is repaired,
yes.
How often do you teach?
I teach 4 classes a week right now.
Okay.
And I do a Patreon. So I have like online classes on demand and a YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. So people from all over can do it.
Yes.
Well, we'll link all that for the listeners. Cool. Everyone can,
please do,
join in and hopefully take that class. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, that was.
There's so much to that too. I feel like I just like got like little bit of breadcrumbs in there,
but I feel like there's so much relatable stuff that like people are going to be like, oh fuck, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't want people to think that they're the only one, especially TBIs. Every TBI is so different.
Well, even if it's not that they've had a brain injury, but it could be like dealing with a parent or getting kicked out or, just feeling the shame or feeling this or feeling that they have to hide. There's so many things I think we touched on that hopefully people listening, it can, help inspire them.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing. And thank you for coming on. It's been a week. And everyone, I will see you next Tuesday. Thank you for listening to that episode of It's Been a Week, but don't touch that dial because it's not over yet. Get ready for the after show. Been there, done that with AJ. Well, we're going to get AJ's take on whatever the fuck I just said. And we're back. Been there, done that with AJ.
Yes, we are. Best time of the whole podcast.
I don't know about that. Before we get into the episode, can we just tell everyone what we did yesterday?
Yeah.
For Memorial Day?
Yeah, with shooting guns.
Yeah. We went to our friend's house and they were having, what did they call it? A smoke and shoot?
Something like that.
I think they were smoking some kind of meat and then they were shooting guns.
Yeah.
So AJ and I, have you ever shot a gun?
That one time when the neighbor came over and taught me how to do it because I was out in the woods trying to find the cat.
And you thought you were going to get bit by a snake.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never shot a gun. I don't think I'm qualified to shoot guns. I don't really like guns because they scare me. Because first of all, you have a lot of power with a gun.
Yeah.
Like you can just kill someone.
Yeah.
And you can shoot yourself. And I ask AJ, am I not the most jumpy? Like I'll just be in the bathroom, like just brushing my teeth, and AJ will walk in, like, good morning, and I'm like, ah, and I freak out.
Yeah, it's kind of intense. But that's why you need to take gun safety class.
Well, we skipped that step and we went straight to shooting.
But
And
just to make sure everyone understands, like they have a very like open area where they do this, and they understand what they're doing, so it's very controlled, and like everyone knows what they're doing, and they have these discs that shoot out, and so
clay
it's like
pigeons.
Yeah, clay pigeons, and so it's organized.
And
you know what I mean?
They have a machine that like shoots the clay pigeons.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Kind of a cool setup.
Yeah.
But I went there with no intentions of actually shooting a gun. I just was like, okay, like the boys will be over there shooting guns, fine. And then they were
But
like,
it wasn't just boys. I mean, it's like guys and girls, and like everyone does it, which is really cool. Like everyone was doing it.
it still scares me. Like I'll post the video of me doing this because it was quite
Ridiculous.
Well, I was like, do I have to shoot this big shotgun thing? Can I get like a handgun like in the movies? And they were like, sure. And then I wanted to like, do it sideways, like kill shot. I'm gangsta.
Yeah. But the shotgun was really fun. And the one that we used like had the least amount of kickback. And so it was like the right one for us to try.
Well, and when we did the handgun, I was like, boo, boo. And then they wanted AJ to do it. And AJ was hopping like a rabbit. Like every time it'd shoot, he's like, hoo, hoo, hoo. And it was.
I was giving a little dance.
Yeah, we are definitely not. Here's the deal. We own guns, but we really don't know how to use them.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. We need to take a course.
So it was really fun. We were shooting guns, and that was our Memorial Day. How it doesn't get more American than that.
It was really fun. I had a great time. And it was actually a really fun week. We saw Katy Perry, as you told everyone, which was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saved that dog. I love how you were making it sound like you got out of the car and helped get the dog.
Well, I stopped the car.
You
and
did.
called the bitch.
I was like, stop the car. You did call. But I got out in the middle of the road and I was like, come here. It was amazing. The dog came right away, jumped right in the car. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank God.
So yeah, it was a pretty wild week.
Very eventful.
All those things. The episode was amazing though.
She's cool.
Like when you were all talking about her life and everything she's been through, which is so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said she was 26 years old. Like, I genuinely never thought that. Like, not that she looks old by any means,
she's like mature.
She carries, like wisdom, right?
Yeah. When she told me she was 26, I was like, excuse me?
Yeah. So that was really interesting for me to hear because when we met her, like, I didn't assign an age. Like, that's not something that I go around doing. Like, hey, you're probably this old. But just from her demeanor, it feels like someone that has lived more. And as she tells her story, she clearly has.
Well, yeah, I think she had to grow up really quick.
Yeah, so that was sad. But like, wow, what an incredible story about the brain injury and how she's applied herself. And what was so amazing, which she didn't bring up, but I will cherish and love, on the back of this hat is the number 33, because that's my number. And when we met her, we were all talking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I turned around in my seat for some reason. And then the back of my hat was to her. And she went, oh my gosh, there it is. That's the sign.
Yeah, she said, I was like meditating this morning. I was like, give me a sign with the number 33. Because she's making a big decision about something.
Trying to make a big decision in her life. And that was so wild and amazing that because it's written on the back of my hat. So are you going to get back into yoga?
Look, I loved yoga when I did it. I really did. And I said, became a teacher. Like I was obsessed with it. My ADD brain, I'm much better like in the spin studio. And I feel like I get the same level of therapy
out of it. I loved to do hot yoga when I lived in New York. And then when I moved back to LA, I had tried it and the studio was carpeted because I guess that was like a big thing with Bikram to have like carpeted spaces. Ew. Gross.
Talk about bacteria.
I don't know. I was not into it. So I stopped doing it. But in New York, I loved doing it. And I loved the practice of how you had to focus, right? And then over time, it became more natural to just be in the practice versus having to focus on focusing. And I loved the way that my body felt when I was in certain positions that like through taking it, they had told me, when you're doing this, it's cleansing your liver. Or when you're doing this, it's like helping your kidneys. I loved it because it was almost like you could feel it. You could feel it happening. So I kind of want to take it again.
Well, go take her class.
I know.
Well, it's been quite the week. I mean, between saving dogs, annoying kids at the gym, Katy Perry concerts, shooting guns, holiday weekend. It's been a week.
Yeah, you look like it's been a week.
All right, everyone. I'll see you next Tuesday.